Well, we're gonna start by sauteing the vegetables, I mean the onions and garlic. But before you saute everything, I'm gonna just try to see if this is working. So when so when it's time for sauteing, everything is hot. The beginning of the recipe, when you see like a pureed shrimp, cashews, peanuts, scallions, chilies, and garlic. So I made already the puree. It's not gonna be a very liquid and puree. It's gonna be just like a little thick paste, because this is a mix of dry shrimp, which I'm gonna pass around for you to see. Take a look. Dry shrimp, cashews, onions. So you see nothing is too wet. So you're gonna get this paste. I'm gonna tell you a little secret. If you wanna do a little cheaper and you don't have all these cashews and unsalted peanuts, whatever, you can use the good old peanut butter. It does the same taste and doesn't change anything. You pay $1 and $1 in the dollar store and you're good to go. But the original recipe brings cashews and peanuts. So I made a paste, and this is gonna be here when I'm gonna use. So we're gonna saute the onions and the garlic, and we're gonna give a little, like 3 minutes, just to give a little sauteing here. By the way, this recipe you see is good for 10 people, but if your audience eat a lot, I would say 5. But it's good for 10 people. It's still a little, but that's fine. This oil here that you see is a little yellow, and this is called azeite de dendê. Dendê oil is like a palm oil. It's a very traditional oil that we use. It gives a little flavor and also gives a nice yellow color when you make your stew. If you can't get the oil, always you can find at the farmer's market, the farmer's market. You can use coconut oil. It's good too. And so you saute like 2 to 3 minutes. I prep a little extra. So basically you follow the recipe. I think everybody here cooks, right? So always we adjust. If you like a little bit more onions, just put in there. It's not gonna hurt. And the garlic as well. I got a lot of garlic because I think it gives a nice flavor to the fish. Since I didn't marinate or did anything with the fish and the shrimp are pretty much plain. So you saute both, and I think it's time for us to add this paste. When you add the paste, you're gonna be fast, because you're gonna see it's gonna be like very, very fast. The paste cooks very fast because you mix peanut butter and you mix all the other stuff. You're gonna see that maybe it's gonna even stick in the bottle. So when you add the paste, just make sure that you start stirring. And the paste, when you add the paste, you're gonna see that your kitchen is gonna smell like shrimp all over, because the dry shrimp, I don't know if you all had the opportunity, they are a little salty and they're very small, but they got a lot of flavor. And it calls for 8 ounces in the recipe. I think it's a little too much. So if you feel like it's too much, just reduce to half. And I would love to have a camera here or something for you to see. Is already sticking in my pan. So what I do is I let it stick for a little bit, because I want to deglaze this with the tomatoes. The tomatoes are going to do the job. They're going to break, and the water from the tomatoes is going to do the job. So because I like flavor, I'm going to throw a little bit more. But this here probably has like 2 cups. And it's sticking here, which is great. So then we're going to throw the tomatoes. And I don't know if you all are smelling, but it smells pretty good in here already. It does? And see, we don't have everything. We just have the dry, do you see the little thing? It makes a complete difference. I would say if you can find in the regular stores the dry shrimp, usually you don't find everywhere. I usually buy at the H Mart. You guys know, you are familiar with H Mart. That's where I get my dry shrimp, all these different things. One thing that you gotta pay attention is we can substitute a lot of stuff, but certain things I don't. For example, if you don't have the coconut oil, if you don't have the palm oil, don't use butter, because this dish is already very strong. It's very rich in flavor, because we're gonna build flavors in here, and I'm gonna bring the coconut milk and cream. So it is a lot of fat involved. If you saute your stuff with butter, it's gonna be a little too rich, and you don't want to have the stomach ache later, and you don't want to give that to your guests as well. So now we got here everything break, everything is good in here, nothing is sticking, because I deglaze my pan with the tomatoes. I'm gonna add some bell peppers, and I like to do them small dices. And if you all like julienne, it's fine too. Some people, some women in Brazil, they love the julienne cuts. I love both, but I was in a hurry to prep this, so I got the small dices, and we add this, and then we're gonna add some of the mix with bread and milk. In your recipe, you can see. So we did the sautéing, we did the shrimp paste, and I add onion, I sauté, and now I'm adding the bread and milk. The bread and milk is very simple. You just set aside bread, coconut milk, and mix in the food processor. So there is a lot of prep that you have to do. And if you want to do this for lunchtime or for dinner time, you even can do in the day ahead. Like, you can make this dish and serve the next day. It's actually, I like to do the day before, because the flavors just settle and they are awesome. But anyway, you can do your prep like I did the day before, and the day that you serve, you just make it. And it's gonna take probably like 30 minutes or even less. So this is the thickening agent. That's what is gonna give the thick, yeah. What did you say? Texture, yeah. You guys help me out here with my English. So you're gonna see that this is pretty thick. I did last night, and I wanna settle, because the gluten and all that kind of stuff is gonna solidify, and then it's gonna be perfect. Once you start sauteing all this, you're gonna see that I'm probably gonna move a little bit for you all to see the pan. But it looks very thick. That's what we wanna have. We wanna have a final product of something like this, okay? This is not final yet, but we want that. So I have an extra one in there, and we need to still cook the fish and the shrimp. If you cook on this, you're not gonna cook your shrimp, and you're gonna cook your fish. It's gonna be too thick. So then we add the fish broth. I made the fish broth with some mackerel, some shrimp, and some bay leaves, and some paprika, and cumin, all the good stuff, and a little bit of salt. So, and I would say be careful with the salt, because that shrimp has salt. Then we're gonna see how it's gonna be before we put in any salt. So here I have around 3 cups of fish stock. And I wanna show you guys something here that it makes a big difference, which is the chili. The chili is a smoked flavor, is a dry chili. The brand is this one. You all are able to find this at farmers markets as well. And if you don't find it, shoot me an email. I'll give you the address of places that I usually shop. So we're gonna cook this. The recipe calls for 30 minutes. And we're not gonna be here at 30 minutes cooking this. We're gonna just try to get a good salt, a good boiling and bringing all the flavors together. I'm gonna get some bay leaves as well. This makes a big difference. And then when I get a good boiling point, I am going to throw some cod and some shrimp. I have my stew thickening, and it's still not in the consistency that I want. Are you okay? In the consistency that I want, that's the time when you see there is a little liquid still, we can put the cod to cook. I would say 5 to 6 minutes. Is a very thin piece of cod. I have, actually guys, don't have the cod in your handout because I was like copying and pasting and stuff, and I end up forgetting about the cod, but you can add to your recipe. I have in here 2 pounds of cod, and I have 2 pounds of shrimp. The shrimp you can buy cooked if you want. I like to buy raw, but I buy like the raw that is already clean. So it gives me just the skin to have, and I use the skin to make my fish broth. You can use cod. You can use. I would not suggest you to use tilapia because tilapia is too flaky and probably is gonna melt, and it's not good unless you just doing some, like you want to do something or tilapia, you have some tilapia in your freezer that you want to get rid of. So I would say yes, but the best fish for this recipe is shark. And maybe people say, oh, this is crazy, but the shark is easy to handle because they are very thick and it handles a stew. You can find at the Cobb Farmers Market as well. Price is very good on the shark, and you can try. But I'm using cod today, and cod goes really well with this recipe. It cooks faster. If you, for example, try to make your dish and it's not thick enough, you always can, add some tapioca or some flour, or even some bread. Like you can grab some pieces of bread and start, thickening your stew. I don't use a particular brand of bread. I like the white bread, but if you like gluten-free or whatever, feel free to use the rest of your bread, the croutons you have that you had a Caesar salad. I mean, this is a good dish for that. One thing in Brazil is this dish comes from a poor area up north where the slaves usually used to live. A lot of people say many stories. I'm not sure if it's true or not, but they say that in that time they didn't have much to eat, so whatever they got and they create some dishes. Probably it's true. Sometimes at home we don't have a lot of stuff to eat. We put everything together and make a nice meal. So I think that was true with them. And this is from the coast of north. They have very good seafood. They have fresh fish. They have the main career in there, the main profession in there are the guys that are fishermen. So you have fresh fish every day. So they really try to create some, good meals with fish and shrimp because it's in an abundance. So I'm not from the north, but my grandparents, the other side of my mom's side, they are from north. So I have a little northern blood on me in there. So our stew is getting thicker and nicer. I just need to taste to see if it's good with salt. Yeah, it needs a little bit more. I'm gonna add a little later. If you like this very hot and spicy, you're welcome to. Brazilian culture, people think that we eat everything super hot, super spicy, and it's not true. We like everything we like cooking with fresh ingredients because it makes completely total difference when you cook with fresh ingredients. So we have a little bit of spice in here because I don't know how you guys like your food, so I try to be very mild. But if you are gonna serve this for people that loves those hot food, go ahead and do it. My stew is getting almost ready. I'm getting ready here to get my shrimp. But before that, I wanna meet the ladies down there. Guys, I'm gonna show you that it's really boiling, and the ideal way to serve this dish is cooking like this, let it set for like at least 20 minutes, and then serve because it's gonna get all the thickness from the bread and all that. But you know, at least you all have an idea how it's made, and you are gonna develop your own flavors. So I'm confident that you're all gonna do a wonderful job. I'm gonna add some salt to our stew. Did you guys like this so far? It's interesting, right? It's a very different way to make a stew, and it's a different, you're gonna see that the flavors come together at the end. And this is gonna be very good after an hour. And I'm gonna eat at home. You all are not, but that's okay. You all make and send me an email. I'll go to your house. Me and Rick, we're going there. So at this point, I'm gonna add the shrimp. And what time is it now? Oh, okay, great. I was shooting for 30 minutes. That's what we're doing. And this shrimp, actually, I'm not gonna cook that much. I'm gonna do like 3 minutes. So it's 4 o'clock now? Yeah, 4:03. I'm gonna turn this off. And you all have any questions about this dish or any questions at all? Okay, I think our dish is done. And you can see it's not as thick as I wanted because this needs to be settled. When settles, it gets like grits because we are using bread. So, you know, the thick process, it takes a while. But like after 2 hours, this is gonna be perfect. So it's a good thing too when you wanna do your parties at home and people are coming, you can make your dish, go get ready, come, everything's perfect. I think that's what it is for today. And I thank you guys for coming and appreciate it. Thank you.